Hey guys, what's up? Sherman614 here, and got kind of a different review to you today. I recently just purchased a new amp, and I'm quite pleased to say the least. As you see, it is a Peavey Vypyr 75 watt to be exact. My camera would... Alright, there. I went through a lot of online reviews, saw a lot of YouTube videos, and the Peavey just stuck out to me for some reason. And I went to Guitar Center, and I heard Line 6s, and I played on the Line 6s, and they were pretty good. I mean, they had some cool effects, they were good for shredding. They didn't have a nice clean tone, they didn't have a clean tone for me, for my personal guitar playing and my personal preference. The Peavey fit my specifications to a T, really. It has a bunch of effects on it, most of which I don't use and wouldn't use really, but it's still just fun to have, fun to play around with. Nothing where you'd really like record a song with. You might, some people might. Okay, I'm just gonna give my take on it. Alright, you got the power supply there. My old amp, the power button was behind the amp. You'd have to reach around behind it and turn it on. That was kind of really awkward. Okay, you have the power button here. You have master volume, which goes from 0 to 13, which is kind of odd, but I think it's cool. Of course, with this amp being a 75 watt, you're good just putting it on 2. Anything above that, maybe 3, you'd be kind of hard of hearing after that. Power sponge, I have mine on 50%. Power sponge, all that does is, if your amp is on 2, put the power sponge way up, like on 50, 75 to 100%, and basically you're getting the full sound out of your amp with it still turned down pretty low. Because, a lot of you know that an amp, when it's turned up, you get the most sound. So, alright, as for just the regular sound adjustments, you have pre-gain, low, mid, and post-gain, and high, sorry. Yeah. Okay, now those are all fully adjustable, to your exact needs and wants. And as for like your effects, it works the same way. And you also have like feedback and delay, reverb, stomp box effects. That's for when you're using the effects. As for effects, I'm on a power cord because my battery died, so I'm going to mess around with that. You have bypass, which is just off, no effects whatsoever. You're just playing pure amp. October, which is like this weird, like real blasting, boomy type effect. Don't really use that. Phaser is really cool. You put a little phaser on when you're just playing single notes, or when you're just put the phaser on just a little bit when you're doing solos. Sounds really cool. Rotary speaker sounds pretty cool. Just basically like I don't know. I'm gonna do a sound test, like demo of all these effects. Reverse, which is kind of weird. I haven't quite gotten the hang of that yet. Just reverses everything you're playing, which is, I don't know, I don't use it. Pitch shifter, that's really cool when you're playing like acoustic stuff. I don't know, it just sounds cool. It's hard to explain. Tremolo, there's actually one song I can think of that has tremolo on it, and that's the intro to Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. It has a tremolo effect on it. Chorus is cool. E&V filter, that's pretty cool. It's hard to explain what that effect does, but like I said, I'll be doing a sound test. Slapback has a little bit more reverb to it. Flanger, that's really cool. I love that effect. That sounds really cool when you're playing acoustic stuff as well. Kind of like Metallica stuff, and looper right there. I keep wanting to point over here for some reason. As for just amp sounds, you have twin, which, okay, you push that in for like acoustic, like clean tone. You push it again for your dirty tone. So when you're having an acoustic, you know, you have the twin, which sounds like twin reverb. It's a really nice sound. DLX, PIXI, Brit, I just call it, BCAT, and Classic. Now Classic sounds really cool when you just have the dirty tone on. It sounds like just regular like classic rock type stuff. And like Led Zeppelin, you know, not too much distortion, not too much fuzz, just good, solid rock sound. Now you come over here, and like even when the dirty tone is on, these are basically like your softer type playing sounds. Over here is like your shredding type metal stuff. You have DZL, which is pretty heavy. K-Stein's pretty heavy. Rec, 6505 is one of my favorites. That and JSX and Triple X. Those sound pretty wicked too. Stomp box effects. You have Tube Scream, which with that on, you don't. It's hard to explain. You get a lot of like Jimi Hendrix type sounds when you play that. Like when you try to solo, it sounds very Hendrix-esque. You don't want to be too close to the amp with your guitar. You get a lot of feedback if you do. And of course, you know, bypass, which is just off. XR Wild, X Boost, which is cool. Very crunchy. You might want to turn like some of the lows and mids down, even the high if you want. If not, you just get blasted away. You don't get the full sound of it. Fuzz is really cool. You also get a nice Hendrix sound with that. That goes good with classic rock. BC Chorus and Squeeze. I'm not familiar with all of these because I don't really use a lot of the stomp box effects. Ring modulator. It's kind of like a flanger, just a little bit more ring. Auto wah, that's pretty cool. Analog flanger, MOG, or MOG, whatever, and analog phase. Just one input, as opposed, well, some amps have two. This one just has one. I don't care. It does have auxiliary jack. I keep wanting to, like I said, because my video camera has a screen, and I want to line up the screen with what I'm filming, but when I do, I get something like this. I'm trying to film this. It's hard to get used to. But anyway, USB record out. You can plug that directly into your computer if you have a recording software or whatever. And headphone jack. Which is pretty cool. My old amp didn't have a headphone jack, so it's pretty neat. Just any old pair of headphones just plugs into that, and you're ready to go. If I forgot to mention before, it has a 12-inch speaker. Just blast you away. Amazing bass. Alright, I guess it's we covered all that. I guess just do a sound test.